Do you know what the common most question I get asked as a realtor is? How's the market? The second most popular question I've received this year is, when are home prices coming down? Well, pull up a chair. I'm about to get really geeky in this video because you know I love stats and data. I'm going to share my insights about what the market did in December, and I'm going to include some highs and lows from the past few years. I'll also sprinkle in some highlights from my top favorite sales, because who doesn't love looking at beautiful properties? Then I will share with you my insights on what I think the real estate market's going to look like in 2024. Be sure to stay to the end, where I will give you my real deal thoughts on what the most popular property type will be in 2024. While you're here, please hit that subscribe button and share with your real estate enthusiast friends, because I have a goal this year of growing my channel to 5,000 subscribers. Side note, I do have all the stats from this video compiled into a beautiful spreadsheet. If you'd like a hard copy, let me know, or if you're just a data nerd like me. That being said, every buying and selling situation is different, so please watch this video with discretion and talk to your favorite realtor or lender about your own specifics. I am available for one-on-one consultation. If you'd like to schedule time to chat, just click my Calendly link below, or you can DM me on my various platforms. So what is the real estate market like? In a nutshell, properties are selling if they're priced right. Please note that I'm using median calculations, which is, again, the exact middle of the total number of items I'm calculating, versus the average, which is a total sum of the items divided by that number of data items. I'm using data from closed transactions for both single-family homes and condo sales, compiled from the Nova Scotia Association of Realtors MLS data. I'll also focus on the central of Nova Scotia, which means Halifax, Dartmouth, Annapolis Valley, and the South Shore. And I'll also include data from other districts if those numbers stand out for some reason. I'm also going to include in my predictions section the benchmark prices from across Canada. Benchmark is another way of calculating real estate sales that the Canadian Real Estate Association has developed, by way they incorporate popular home features into their calculations. So the number of new listings that came on the market in December compared to November were down 50% or more, which is pretty standard for this time of year. However, these numbers are also down 6.3% from this time last year for Nova Scotia, along with the other districts, except for the Annapolis Valley and Yarmouth. The highest number of listings that we've had in 1 month in the past 3 years was back in June of 2022. And this past December was the lowest number of new listings to hit the market in the month. For the current number of listings, numbers are for the 11 to 20%. But year over year, the number of listings has increased between 20 and 30% across the province. The most active listings we've had at one time in the past few years was back in March of 2020 with 3,699. The lowest point of active listings was in January 2022. The total number of sales were down 39% across Nova Scotia, from 725 to 444. The Annapolis Valley was down the most at 47%, with just 50 sales for the month of December. Considering Nova Scotia has about 2,500 realtors and only the top 5% do the majority of business, this tells me there's lots of agents who had a slow 2023. If you're considering selling in the new year, please interview more than one agent. Don't necessarily go with the agent that says they can get you the highest price. Now, compared to December of 2022, sales were down 18.2% for Nova Scotia. The greatest drop was in the Highland District of 48%. The second biggest drop was in the Annapolis Valley at 26.5%. The reasons for these numbers are likely because the Highland region is very remote and rocky. The Annapolis Valley has a lot of agriculture zoning, so there's housing development in these areas are limited. So even though the total number of listings were up from this time last year by approximately 30%, the number of sales were down 20%. This tells me that we have a number of buyers on the sidelines waiting for home prices and rates to drop. As far as median home sale prices for December, Nova Scotia as a whole came in at $385,000. This was up 3% from November and up 8.5% from this time last year. Halifax Dartmouth was sitting at $465,000, which was up 3.3%. I'm going to include a graph of all the prices from around the province. But in summary, the home prices were up the most in the Highland area and down 9.4 on the South Shore. This decrease is because Chester area had a lot of multi-million-dollar home sales in 2022. Now, the top COVID peak median home sale price was in June of 2023. And for Nova Scotia, that was $437,000. For individual districts, though, they peaked in the second quarter of 2022, with Halifax having a home sale price of $563,000. Now, the Halifax Dartmouth area is a large area. So if you're looking for a newly renovated detached 3-bedroom home in the peninsula, you're looking at more so around the $850,000 range. Now, the top properties of 2023, let's have some fun here. There were 2 properties this past year that sold for over $3 million, actually 3.1 and 3.8 to be exact. They are both located on Yonge Street in Halifax. Most of the $1 million homes were sold this year in the HRM, which is different from last year, where the majority of the top 10 transactions were sold in the Chester area. There were 10 properties that sold for over $2 million as well. I want to give a shout out to David Dunn and his group, who either listed or sold the top 4 sales in Nova Scotia last year. I also wanted to shout out Julie Photo, a colleague of mine here at EXP, who assisted her buyer for the number 6 sale in Ketch Harbor. Now, the top sale on the South Shore was at 26 Hermans Point, listed by Piers Baker of Duckworth Realty, and it sold for $2,179,000. Annapolis Valley, the top home sale was 364 Castle Fredericks in Upper Falmouth, which sold in just 10 days. Hey, did I mention I obtained my luxury certification and I'm now a member of EXP Luxury Brand. I'm so excited to have exclusive access to this EXP brand marketing assets for my qualified sellers here in Nova Scotia. Next question, what is the market going to do in 2024? This is such a big question with so many factors at play. In my 20 years of real estate, I don't recall a time when our local markets have been so impacted by global issues. So here's speaking to sellers. If you're considering putting your home in the market, but you're worried that you missed out on those COVID prices, which peaked in the second quarter of 2022, first of all, I want to tell you that period was extreme with major interprovincial movement and never before seen mortgage rates. Second of all, 2023 year-to-date prices are just 6 to 16% lower than those peak periods. When looking at CREA's benchmark prices for Nova Scotia, they are 29% above what they were 3 years ago and 45% above prices from 5 years ago. So if you bought your home about 5 years ago at like $213,000 and haven't done any major upgrades, your home should be worth $390,000. That's amazing equity in just 5 years. Now for potential home buyers. If you aren't pre-approved, get on it. That's the number one piece of advice I can give you. Many sellers don't even want you viewing their home unless you are pre-approved. If you end up being in competition with another offer, the seller will most likely, if the offers are comparable, choose the one that has been pre-approved. For those buyers waiting on the sidelines, I'm going to be brutally honest and tell you that there will be no major price drops or foreclosures in the future. 45% of homeowners hold no mortgages. And because of the mortgage stress test that has been in place for a few years now, that rules out people losing their homes to foreclosures as well. Instead, analysts anticipate a continued upward trajectory of home prices for years to come, or at least until the housing demands are met. I also don't feel that we're going to see mortgage rates in the 1% to 2% range for a very long time again. Now, looking ahead to the new normal, the real estate market is undergoing quantitative easing, with the Bank of Canada unlikely to make any rash decisions. I predict maybe a 25 basis point decrease in the first quarter to entice some home buyers off the sidelines, but not enough to incite a buying frenzy that's going to drive up home prices again. In 2024, the real estate market will be moving towards normalization, with the 2023 year-over-year home price increases of 5 and 6% resembling what a normal market should look like. I surmise that fixed mortgage rates will continue its sporadic decline into the third quarter, where it will stay steady around 4.65 to 5% for a few months in attempts to hit that targeted 2% inflation. Do you agree? Let me know your predictions for 2024 in the comments below. I foresee a change in buyer mindset. I feel there will be an evolving attitude towards doing side hustles, learning new skills, and penny pinching. I predict that there will be an increased interest in energy efficient homes, homes that are south facing for solar installs, and there will be a movement of homesteading to Nova Scotia in 2024. Conversely, I think there will be intentional downsizing, with buyers looking for smaller carbon footprints such as tiny homes and condo living. Remember, these are general market insights, so please go ahead and book a no pressure call with me so we can discuss your specific buying needs. Or if you're thinking of selling, we can do a no obligation market analysis so you know what your home is worth in this market. Just click the link below in this video to schedule a call. Otherwise, check out my videos about home buying and selling here in beautiful Nova Scotia. This has been The Real Deal with Dawn.